Hello everyone, this is Prayana Subba, Assistant Professor in the Department of History, Salesian College, Sonala, tuning into Radio Salesian Lecture Series. This is the fourth lecture for second semester CC4. Topic is urban growth in Central and Western India and also Deccan India. So in the last classes we have seen the towns and cities growing into northern India divided into three sections, that is northwest, upper Ganga and the lower Ganga. Today we will look into the central and the western India and the Deccan India. In the western India we have three sides, that is Rair, Sambhar and Nagari, all belonging to Rajasthan. The first side, that is Rair, it's a period 3rd century to 2nd century BCE to 2nd century CE. The remains of this period shows us terracotta ring well, walls of structures, and it's another side Sambar, also in Rajasthan, shows the similar kind of remains from 3rd or 2nd century BCE. Another site, Nagari, also from Rajasthan, shows the evidences of occupation from the period 400 BCE. In all the sites, we have found the remains of active city life. Moving towards central India, we have three important sites, that is Besnagar, Ujjain and Pavaya. Besnagar, it was located along the confluence of river Bes and Betwa. It was the western capital of the Shungas. It was important trading center. It connected Deccan and the western ports. There we have found pillars with Heliodorus inscriptions. Excavations in its vicinity area also revealed the Vasudeva temple. Another important site is Ujjain. Its period 3A, belonging to 200 BCE to 500 CE, shows us red potteries, lots of beads of semi-precious stones, terracotta, bone and ivory bangles, and also glass, shell and copper works, pendants of stone and terracotta, ear ornaments of terracotta, glass and shells. Terracotta gamesmen and skin rubbers, antimony rods made of copper, ivory were also found, ivory combs, hairpins, clay medallions from Greek and Roman types. Both the Greek and Roman coins were also found. Dices were made of terracotta and ivory as well. Terracotta figurines of human and animals were found. Votive tanks were found. Stone images of deities were found. Coins of Kshatrapas, Kushanas, later dynasties were also found. Along with that, coin mold of Roman Emperor Augustus Hadrianus was also found. In the bead manufacturing industry was also found. Chalcedony was used. Ceilings were found with Prakrit inscriptions in Brahmi letters belonging to 1st century CE. Another important site was Pavaya. It was ancient Padmavati, lying along the confluence of Sindhu and Parvati river. Variety of terracotta objects were found. Fine stone sculptures were also found, including the images of Yaksha, Manibhadra, and a Naga figure. Tam capital was also found, belonging to 1st century CE. It was associated to deity Samkarshana. Now we will move on to the Deccan India. For the Deccan India, we do not have much of the textual evidences. We wholly depend on the archaeological sources alone. Here, the archaeological sources paint the picture of the transition of the early historical urban phase in the Deccan area. Aloka Parashar in 1992 says that historians have overemphasized the impact of the Mauryans and Indo-Greeks in the Deccan, in the urbanization of the Deccan, but they have not sufficiently looked into the internal process of cultural change and certain areas in the Deccan. So, Parashar is of the complaint here that historians have overemphasized the impact of the Mauryas and the Roman Greeks in Deccan. Deccan India has been further divided into sub-regions, northern, central, eastern and the southern. Parashar highlights cultural diversity in southern and the central Deccan, except from Brahmagiri, where Neolithic, Chalcolithic phase and early Iron Age megalithic has no early historical remains. So except for the Brahmagiri, other places of the Deccan do not show any historical remains. Only Neolithic and Chalcolithic phases are there. Before that, the Paleolithic phases are not there. Example, Chandravali, Banavasi and Vadagaon, and Madhavpur and Sannati also. In the central Deccan, no direct evidence of Mauryan presence are there, but sites like the following shows pre-Satavahana period occupation. The first site which shows the pre-Satavahana period occupation is Kotalingala, which was found along the confluence of Padavagu and Godavari river. It was 5 ha in area, surrounded by mud fort. 4 occupation levels are found there, second of which is early century CE. Many pre-Satavahana and Satavahana coins were found in this place. Another important site is Dhulikata. It was along the bank of river Husanivagu. It was 4 ha in its area. Mud fortification was there, gateways were there, palace complex were there. In the middle of the mound, rectangular residential structures were found, granaries were found. Also a Buddhist stupa belonging to 3rd century BCE was found. Another important site was Paddabankur. It was 30 ha mound, 10 km east towards Dhulikata. It was not fortified. Residential structures were made of brick and mud. Also found cisterns, wells, soak pits, drains. 2 structural phases were there. Period 1 shows belonging to 250 BCE to 100 BCE, and period 2 belonging to 50 BCE to 200 CE. There were thousands of Satavahana coins, which suggests minting was done in this place. A gold coin of Augustus was also found. Other than that, 22 wells were also found. Remains of blacksmith's workshop was also found. Another important site is Kondapur. It was unfortified. Houses were made of brick and rubble. Beads of terracotta were also found. Religious structures included stupa, vihara, 2 chaityas. Large number of Roman coins were found, which suggests that the economy was largely dependent on trade. Evidences of iron working were visible by the discovery of plenty of iron artifacts. Another important site was Dhulikata. It was a crucible of iron was found there, which was 15 centimeter in diameter. It was found along with charred wood. Leafy materials were also found. Mud and large terracotta cakes were found. Iron smelting was also done in the place. Another important site was Pattabankur. Here also terracotta forge of about 20 centimeter in diameter was found. Working floor of the floor of the forge, embedded with pieces of iron slags. Finished iron artifacts were found. Nails, sickle, knife, rings. It must have been a blacksmith's workshop. Bhukardan found the place in the site in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. It was the ancient Bhogavardhana mentioned in the inscription of Sanchi and Bharhut. 2 period of occupation are seen here. Excavations done by Dio in 1974. Its period 1A shows pre-Satavahana period of occupation, and 1B shows late Satavahana phase. Its period 2 shows post-Satavahana period of occupation. In its period 1A, we find ash pit, a hearth, a bathing area, lime and stone floor rammed with earth. In its period 1B, most intensive building activities were found. Improvement in the quality of structure, traces of foundation, brick wall, floors, post holes, fallen roofs, ring well were found. Community hearth and remains of the kitchen were found. Artifacts excavated in this place were sponge mark coins, Satavahana and Kshatrapa coins made of copper, terracotta seals and ceilings. Pottery of period 1A shows black and red burnished ware, coarse black and red ware, coarse red ware, red slipped ware, crude handmade red wares. Pottery of period 1B shows coarse red ware, ware with red wash, red slipped ware, red polished ware, tan slipped wave, drab black ware, black burnished ware, black and red ware, unburnished black red ware, and red slipped ware. Among the beads, there were 2,000 beads of various materials, largely made of terracotta, followed by glass, shell, faience. Also, agate, jasper, carnelian, chalcedony, crystal and jasper were used for bead making. Few jade, lapis lazuli, ivory were also found. Nodules of semi-precious stones, unfurnished beads, bead molds were also found. So this shows thriving bead industry must have been there. In other crafts, we have shell, bangles, ivory works, hundreds of terracotta objects, large number of discs, marbles, gamesmen, wheels, whorls, skin rubbers, stoppers, crucibles, many human and animal figurines, terracotta plaques depicting human figures, unique ear ornaments, pendants, 22 votive tanks, fragments of anthropomorphic pots, leads of pot with 3 female figures were also there. Iron objects like kitchen utensils, equipment, tools, weapons, carpentry items were found. Copper objects, ornaments, pots, fish hooks, antimony rods, ivory objects like dice, bangles were also there. Ear ornaments, points, combs, carved mirror handles, bone objects, shell artifacts, bangles, like glass bangles, fragments of small glass pots were also found. Other than that, we have found stone coins, rubbers, dabbers, plaques, sculptures, 2 pieces of amorphia, pieces of red ware, which was imitation of the red polished ware. It reflects the connection with the Indo-Romans. Plant remains reveal that variety of cereals and legumes were used. Bone remains of 17 species were found, including those of human, wild animal, and domestic animals. Another important site was Adam, but we will not start it here. We will end other remaining sites in our next lecture. Thank you so much.